Hello, Aries, and welcome to our November 2021 reading. I'm really excited to sit with you and sit with the energies here today. And also, it makes me so happy to know that so many of you appreciate the wink that I send out to you every month. It's our special moment to connect, and I just wanted to say that really just makes my heart feel warm. So, this is a really interesting time in the year for Aries. We are in the heart of Scorpio season here, of course, and this Scorpio season has quite a bit of energy in Scorpio with it. So we have the sun obviously there, we have a new moon happening in Scorpio, but we also have Mars moving through Scorpio all week and all month, and Mercury moving through Scorpio most of the month. So we're really working with the logic and the energy of Scorpio. And for Aries, this is a season of transformation. This is a season of like the snake shedding its skin, which is a really healthy process. It's one that, allows us to be in connection with ourselves and rest into it. And it's important to be having regular, moments of shedding and moments of checking in and coming back home to ourselves, right? And I was thinking about this as I was thinking about the Scorpio season. It's very powerful. And near the end of it, we're also having a Taurus full moon with a partial lunar eclipse. So we're beginning eclipse season this month as well. And this is so much about how you value yourself, how you value your transformation, how you value the way you're becoming. And it actually made me think, I'm slowly but surely working on a writing project. And it's all about seasons of shift, change, transition, places that we are often uncomfortable with. And I was thinking, and I just wanted to read this short little excerpt because it made me think about the way we judge our transformational process and how we sometimes hold ourselves prisoner to a way we think it needs to go. So I just wanted to read this, and then we'll get into the cards and the rest of the chat. The tidy cinematic pull of a problem, followed by a short challenge, a truncation of time, and a resolution kept calling to me. I kept looking for clear signposts that would show me that I was simply in an archetypal movie script and the process would be apparent and quick. And when that didn't appear, I would judge my own slow process, missing the gentle medicine of the quiet becoming. Now I look for the subtle process. I seek out the way an aspect of my life is slowly changing and sprouting new branches, how each little cell division of that process shifts the dynamics. I lean into the slow medicine of watching my sensitive soul build and create in this world, as I practice existing in a body in a world, with a powerful mind that can weave quick stories and a wise animal body that can lead me to deeper truths. And the reason I just wanted to bring that into the flow is because it is a season of transition and transformation for you all. And just in general, October or November is a really deep time of kind of reconciling ourselves to how we've changed and opening our hearts to how we are becoming. And sometimes, transformation and change can happen with acute events where, we really get shown, okay, life is transitory and things are moving through, and there's shock and there's grief. And sometimes transformation can happen in a much quieter way that can be a little alarming because it doesn't fit a scripted narrative. It doesn't fit a tidy arc. It doesn't fit a complete clear directive, right? And so I just want to remind you, if you are going through a season of transformation, but it's feeling like it's in these little pieces and these little hints on the wind, that's honestly how transformation tends to happen. It's one of the main ways it happens is in this subtle shifting. So if you are somebody who's working with that, just know that you're right there. Now, this month is also really cool because, yes, we have this really deep, powerful, potent Scorpio season with a full moon in Taurus and the beginning of eclipse season, but we also enter into Sag season on the 21st. Sun and Mercury move on over there, and we're starting to work more with Sagittarian energy at the end of the month, which is great for Aries because this is expressive, playful, fun, Eight of Swords. It's very Scorpio. Very fun, very playful, very big picture energy. Four of Cups. All right, we're doing some reflection here. And like I said, I mean, this is a deep Scorpio season where we are coming to peace, coming to self-understanding. Nine of Wands. Okay, World Weary Warrior, as I've nicknamed him. And the Lovers. Okay. This is such an interesting lineup, and I'm really excited to talk through this. So as we dive deep in Scorpio season, we reconcile some parts of ourselves. In the case of Aries, this is going to be a time to shed an old skin, slough off some of the old, and welcome and open our hearts as we enter into Sagittarius, some of the new visionary energy that wants to come in, because that's the other part of this. There is new visionary energy wanting to come in, tapping at the window, sprinkling some of its glitter and magic. And it might start off really subtle this month, but it's going to grow and get louder. And let's talk about these cards though, because there's something important going on here that I think if you've hung out with me long enough, I really value the process of cards like these, Eight of Swords, Four of Cups, Nine of Wands. Because what these herald to me is healing a part of ourselves that is held in some old stories that are hurting. Healing those parts of ourselves and taking the time to actually be with them and incorporating and processing them through our mental and physical bodies so that we can actually actively and potently be present here in the creation of life in the present moment. And we're so quick, often to run from loving our whole selves, including the parts of ourselves that are stuck in old loops, right? And we're so quick to say, oh no, that's a bad thing. I need to just be staying positive. But what I see here is this is the transformational work, and it's showing up in these cards. Eight of Swords. I keep wanting to say Eight of Wands. Eight of Swords, I think, is one of the most important energies we have. It nods to something that I think has become pretty normalized in culture in some ways, which is just to kind of feel stuck and trapped and like, well, there's no answer. There's no way for me to move forward, right? But this part of ourselves is also just a scared part of ourselves, right? It's a little nervous that if we just trust ourselves and relax into that trusting of ourselves, we won't ever make progress. We won't ever do what we need to do. We won't ever take decisive, bold steps. And the reality is that when we trust into our intuition a little bit more, we fall back into ourselves a little bit more, it's so much easier to take bold, decisive steps. So when this card shows up, it's asking for you to trust yourself a little bit more as you're transforming. Trust that you're going to figure it out. Trust that you're going to be able to see the road ahead, and that you don't need to get, tense about it if you can't see everything yet. If you don't have every answer yet for how it's supposed to go, just know that there's a process at work. Because here's the thing. We have the Four of Cups, and this is, again, I feel like Eight of Swords and Four of Cups are really interesting because they both represent beings who are, their vision of the world is that they're stuck and that there's nothing that's ever going to kind of move again. Their vision of the world is kind of this frustrated thing, right? Where they feel like there's no breakthrough. But it's all an illusion because she's able to walk out of this little cell that she thinks she's in. And he actually has something coming in. So that part of our mind that says, well, I'm not allowed to change. I'm just going to stick this out. I'm just going to have to survive. Whatever, we all have our own origin stories, our own core beliefs. Right? Each of us has our own special one or few that tell us that, well, there's no way forward. And that part of ourselves needs love, first of all, needs acceptance, needs to feel that it is cared for. Also, this is what I will say, if you're feeling a little bit like you can't see the picture, you can't see how this is all going to come together. You can't see the clarity of the road this month all the time. Maybe you get little glimmers. Know that, like I read in that little excerpt earlier, that transformation and the building of something new is going to come in these little moments of calibration and alchemy. And they're everywhere all the time. So we want to train our eye to look for those. We want to train our heart to be open to those. Now, here's the other thing that's healing here this month, though. And this is why the Scorpio season is so important in general, and working with this energy is so important for all of us in general, is it gives us a moment to deep dive and notice where we are still holding ourselves in old patterns. And one of them, and this is such an Aries problem, this Nine of Wands. And I have nicknamed this card the World Weary Warrior for a reason. This guy has been in battle. He's seen some terrible things, and he's still on guard for that terror to come back. And of course, that makes sense. It makes sense. He's not wrong for feeling weary and tired and worn out, right? He's not in error. He's just come through something really heavy. So it's not that we need to say, oh, I'm just being negative, I just need to shut that down and just be positive or whatever. What the Nine of Wands asks for is for us to take care of our inner guardians, the parts of ourselves that are wary, that are trying to protect us, that are keeping an eye out, that are a little skeptical. We want to take care of them. We want to understand what they're trying to protect us from and give them a moment to communicate with us. And that doesn't mean they get to be in charge or that they have all the information. They just are a part of the way that we survive being human in this world, or we build that belief, right? So Nine of Wands is really a moment to just notice where you still have big defenses up, where you are wary of things, and where you have core beliefs around where you have to keep yourself locked away. So these first three cards are really about taking care of the wary, worried, skeptical parts of ourselves that feel like they don't trust the bigger vision. They don't trust the divine energy. They don't trust, right? It's taking care of those parts of ourselves that are a little reticent to make changes or to transform, or that are in grief, or that want to hold on to the familiar, or any of those things. And really, really, really take care of these places. And I tell you what, here's the thing. When we're willing to do that, when we're willing to just take that little bit of time out for, honestly, like 20 minutes a day or something, 10 minutes a day to take care of those parts of ourselves, this is one of the most effective ways to have an impactful forward, like moving life. For me, when I think about Aries energy doing this kind of work and taking care of themselves, being, I think, the people that step out, they put their foot out first in the world. They're the ones who, like, you guys are all the ones that like step out and try something and show, the rest of the world. You're kind of frontline people in so many ways. It's like, you got to take care of the parts of yourselves that are a little tired from that, right? And make sure so that you can access your Aries energy from the healthy, joyful, playful place that it's meant to come from. And then we have the Lovers here, deep connection, deep conversations, good communication, connecting to others, connecting to your path, connecting to the stories that mean something to you. The Lovers to me is such a dynamic, playful energy. It's very vivacious, it's very alive, it's very here and now in the present moment. All the energy moving through, it's crackling with energy, with passion, with excitement, with movement. And this is where you're really being directed. The Lovers for me is also the promise of something bigger ahead. It's a creative energy. 6 is such a creative number. It's one of kind of building a life, a version of home, a version of partnership, a version of community connection. And you're being invited into all of that. And it's going to be so easy to see it. And it's so interesting to me because I feel like you kind of go through a little bit of a forest this month. Within yourself, you go through kind of a dark wood, using Dante's imagery, but you come out so much more in alignment with who you want in your life, what you want in your life, where you want to go. So trust that process because it's taking you somewhere really, really awesome. And if you give yourself the time to be with those parts of yourself that are wary, that are skeptical, that are worried, man, some amazing things are getting lined up. And we are preparing for a lot of 2022 energy already here in November. Energy is about to shift in big ways with nodes of the moon changing and just transits closing out. So this is just a really powerful time. I have some affirmations for you to close out our little chat today, and here they are. I can feel a new way of moving through the world opening up inside of me. I trust that things are getting easier and lighter. When I use the energy of my sacred flame, I am discerning and careful. I rest whenever I need to. I am connected to my body and what it wants to tell me. That's it. That's the messages. I would love to see you around here. Let me know how you are feeling as we enter into November and as we move through November. I'd love to hear from you. So like, comment, subscribe, hang out. I really love to hear from you. You can also find me on Patreon, where we're going to be really going through this coming eclipse season, and I do weekly chats with you all, and it's just a really cozy place for us to support each other. It really helps me out as well to keep bringing everything here. And you can find me on my Instagram. There's just the one true @Vrba, so I'll leave that below so you know where to find me, and it's easy to connect with me. So I'll send you all of those in the description box, and I hope you have a gorgeous November. I love you, Aries, so much. Take such good care of your hearts, your souls, and all the parts of yourself, and I will talk to you so soon.